Thank you for joining me on this review of another beautiful tarot deck. We have this beautiful new Pagan Ways tarot deck. This tarot deck helps you to connect a little bit more with gods and goddesses, as well as, earth spirits, nature spirits, and elementals. Open it up here and see what we have going on. All right, so right off the bat here, we have this about the creator right here in the front panel of the box. I love these boxes, by the way. The decks that we've been getting in recently have these amazing boxes with a little tab on them, and it has everything that you could possibly need contained within the box. A very substantial, you can see that, a very substantial guidebook on this beautiful deck. So this tarot deck has the swords, the wands, the cups, and the pentacles like a normal Rider-Waite tarot deck, but it does have some variations when it comes to the major arcana. There's some realism in these cards, but really some beautiful bright colors, really such a nice feeling tarot deck. It doesn't feel like too lightweight. Here's the back of your cards. Another thing that I really like about these cards is that at the bottom of each card, so you'll have at the top it says Ace of Pentacles, and then down here at the bottom it tells you, it gives you a theme of the card. So this one is manifestation and the Ace of Pentacles. Balance with your Two of Pentacles. Then you have some beautiful cards like this Lover's card. This is a very unique looking deck, but it is a very beautiful deck. Take a look at this Hermit right here. I am in love with him. It's all shiny from my little light here, but you can kind of see what I'm saying. He's so beautiful. And Death here, I love it because it's so reminiscent of the crone, the maiden mother and the crone, and we have the crone here. So here's where we have some differences. We have, the underworld, a little bit difference there. And then we have the universe. The universe. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, and then rebirth. And I love this one. Take a look at the moon. The moon goddess. Look at her. Look how pretty she is. Beautiful. I feel like with this deck, though, the best way that we're going to actually be able to see, what, how good it is to kind of do a reading from it. And I am going to read from the book because I want you guys to hear what it is the book has to say. And I will say, these are nice size cards. You can kind of look at them in my hand here. That is a nice size card deck. We have a situation and contributing factors. We'll start with our Queen of Swords here. So just so you guys can kind of have an idea, this is what the description looks like for each card. Okay, some of them are a little bit more lengthy. It just kind of depends. Some of them are shorter, but there is a good amount of content in here for you to get some really solid, accurate readings. So this talks about the journey. The journey is what begins each one of these. So I'll just read this to you. The Fool encounters the young Queen of Swords, dressed in yellow and seated on a throne surrounded by blooming spring landscape that is illuminated by the rising sun. A hawk circles above her, showing the ability of her intellect to rise above petty issues. Despite her youth, her gaze is steady, demonstrating that she is independent and not easily fooled. The wheel turns, she says. I am the maiden of spring, untouched and self-contained. Each year I return to the earth from the underworld, and where I tread, flowers blossom, greenery unfurls, and life returns. At my festival of Austera, the sun dances and rises. Day and night stand at equal length, but the light is gaining. Out of the winter, spring comes. Out of the darkness, light comes. In the midst of despair is hope. Mine is the creative power to make things real, and I renew the world with youth and vitality, freshness and vigor. So this is beautiful. It's talking about this, the Queen of Swords falling under the influence of the spring goddess who brings rebirth to the vegetation cycle of the earth. Her powers are imagination and positive thought, and it's kind of about bringing things into being. She has creative energies that shape your future and manifest your vision in the world, but always be true to your ideals. So she's about insight and inspiration. So this is a really good one for people who are in a creative field. This card can be representative of you or another woman in your life who is intensely private and independent. She hates anyone telling her what she should do or how she should behave. She is intelligent and sophisticated with a love of art, music, or poetry. She has very high ideals and makes a loyal friend, unconventional and quick-witted with a dry sense of humor. She is fiercely honest, a seeker after truth, who sees beyond the surface of things and demands fairness. She is forthright and will very likely offer you well-meant and accurate criticism. So getting to the truth of the matter with somebody in your life. And really it's a very raw moment, and it's a good moment though, because it helps to empower you and inspire you to become more. So let's look at the contributing factors. We have the Knight of Wands here. In the beginning of each one of these descriptions, you're going to see this part down here that says the journey, okay? The journey is, it's the Fool that is going through each card, each representation. And it talks about what he encounters upon his Fool's journey. The Fool encounters the handsome Knight of Wands charging towards him, his eyes fixed on glory and fame. He represents action, movement to the extreme. So this is about action, moving forward. And there's more here. It's such a beautiful card. So there's plenty of fire energy around the moment, and you are caught up in a whirl of activity, setting yourself new challenges and feeling confident that you are able to tackle any problems. This is certainly no time to be sitting around thinking. You need to be up and doing. Nevertheless, be sure that you have a clear plan, that any risks are well calculated, and finish each task as it arises, or all this energy will be wasted. And don't forget, you need to rest sometimes. So this is about movement. This is about forward motion. This is about like setting down the overthinking and actually like pushing towards the goals that you have set. The things that you know that need renewed, or the things that you know that need manifested in your life here. You need to stop overthinking it and just move towards them. The Queen of Wands, midsummer is what it says. Down here it was adventure with the Knight of Wands. So midsummer with the Queen of Wands. The Fool meets a strong, confident woman seated on a bench in a meadow filled with flowers, which represents joy, fertility, and the promise of the harvest to come. Her red dress and cloak symbolizes fire. In her right hand is a wand, which is lifted to the rising sun, and watching her is a cat, which signifies both independence and magical power. The wheel turns, she says. I am the Queen of Summer, and my fire kindles the midsummer sun. Heat blazes across the land. Now is the time for brightness and warmth. When the sun stands in all his glory, the time of the longest day and shortest dark. This is the season of the greatest growth, when the lush leaf and the flower are at their fullest. Sun and earth consummate their union, and the seed of fire kindles the earth so to swell with fruit, so that the autumn and harvest can come in turn. So light your own fires, feast, and make merry. She is one of the most positive cards in this deck, and she heralds a bright, fertile phase in your life. This is because your creative powers are in full flood. Now could be the time when you create your masterpiece, whatever takes form. You must be self-assured and optimistic, and know that you're strong enough to get there. Whatever obstacles lie in your way, you will deal with them. So yeah, she's about your passion. She's about following forward with your passion and, letting your guard down, right? And moving into what is going to be good for you and what is going to bring forward light in your life, right? Both of these, light in your life. Let's see, the King of Wands here is also a contributor to this reading. So the journey. As the Fool completes his journey through the realm of wands, he encounters its king, a regal man robed in crimson, crowned with golden oak leaves and surrounded by his element, the fire. In his hand he holds a scepter bound with gold. I am the King of Wands, the man tells him, Lord of Fire, which is the crucial life essence that animates us and without which we die. Fire gives us vitality, igniting action, movement. It generates illumination within, creative vision, and the light of the spirit. While the earth, air, and water are states of matter, fire is energy, an agent of transformation. But remember, while the fire of the sun brings life to earth, it can also burn and desiccate. The warmth of the hearth can nurture and comfort, but wildfire can be destructive and dangerous. Fire must be controlled and directed in order to be useful, just as passion and enthusiasm need to be tempered with thought and compassion, and rooted in reality to manifest in the world. This is the power of will. Will is not the same thing as willpower. It is not the same thing as desire. Those things might be passing fancies generated by our subconscious fears and insecurities. True will is developed by knowing who and what you are, and by understanding what your soul needs, not what the transient personality wants. A magical act must begin with clear intent, and that intent must come from true will, transcending what you have been shaped into by your negative life experiences and reconnecting the eternal soul. This is a beautiful deck. The way that these descriptions of journey are set up and how we encounter each card as if it is a person, as if it is an entity that can share with us wisdom. That is beautiful. This, I feel like, is going to be an amazing deck to gain relationship with tarot. You're not just reading tarot, you're gaining a relationship with it, and you're gaining a relationship with your guides, and further understanding your intuition. Kings in a spread can indicate a beginning. When the King of Wands appears, he brings an opportunity. So take up the challenge, be assertive, and don't doubt your abilities. You have all the skills and the experience you need. The King also concerns motivation, and this one calls you to develop that fiery part of your nature. Lead your life with vision and a long-term view. The influence of the King of Wands may be felt through an actual person in your life. But here, I really feel like this is about you. This is about you defining your path. This is about you claiming and owning what it is that you want to do in your life. This is passion. This is motivation for living the life that you want. You can create that now. Pagan Ways Tarot deck. I highly recommend this, guys. There was something about it when we... because Libby and I, we looked at this deck before we even purchased it. We looked online and we were trying to find, different tarot decks to have in here. But there was something in particular about this deck that just called out to us both. And honestly, I feel like listening to The Fool's Journey, the way that it's described here is it's just beautiful. There are things to learn from this deck. There's a lot of wisdom and guidance and understanding. There's almost an ancient feel to the wisdom that's in here, and I am deeply appreciative of this beautiful deck. So check it out here at Moonstone Circle, up for sale for $39.99. Let it help guide you through your phases of life. Thank you so much for joining me on here, and I will see you all soon.